Well, happy Thanksgiving. We're so excited that you're joining us for this online version of our Thanksgiving Eve service. We've got a lot of stuff planned tonight. We've got Pastor Dave's going to be sharing about thankfulness in his thankful letter, but we really want this time to be as a time where you can consider what you're really thankful for. So as we get started, we're going to go ahead and start with some worship. Will you join us?
The best that I can bring. Oh, this strong till the end. I will keep my eyes on Jesus and run the race to win. May His beauty rest upon me as I seek to win the lost. May I be a faithful servant to the message of the cross.
The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back.
Well, it is so good to worship together and really remember what we're thankful for. Now we're going to take a little moment. Some of you might be waiting for this. Some of you might be excited for this. Pastor Dave is going to be sharing his thankfulness letter and why he's so thankful about this season.
Hi, it's Pastor Dave, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to share a few thoughts with you about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a very special holiday for me. I love Christmas. I love Easter, but I love Thanksgiving. It's a holiday that doesn't have trees and presents and decorations or Easter baskets or egg hunts. It's just about being thankful. In our country, we like to trace the history of Thanksgiving back to the Pilgrims, but I like to trace the practice of God's people expressing their gratitude back to God back 3,000 years or so, to the great feasts described in the book of Deuteronomy in the Old Testament, feasts that the Israelites held to remember and to be thankful. So this holiday should be important to God's people, and it is to me. And every year now, for many years, at Thanksgiving, I've sat down and I've written a list of things for which I'm thankful. And here's what I wrote this year. Once again, I'm overwhelmed with feelings of gratitude at this special time of year and feel compelled to write a list. This year, I'm especially thankful for, as always, for God. Although I admit I don't totally understand Him, but I know He's there. Somehow He's way out there and also right in here, inside of me. He's all-knowing, all-wise, all-powerful, everywhere present and all holy, and to me, astonishingly all-loving. A love that touched my heart as a boy when I realized that I needed His forgiveness. Forgiveness that I need to this very day, and I will need for all the days of my life on this earth. Forgiveness that humbles me by its availability to me, a totally unworthy person, and also humbles me because of the cost that was paid for it, but not by me. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is God's greatest gift, His greatest miracle, and why I'm thankful for God. For my wife, Carrie, I love her more and more every year. I'm still amazed that as a beautiful college student, she was attracted to me, a nerdy athlete type. I credit my mom and Carrie's mom for engaging in a subtle, unseen conspiracy that resulted in our first date. I also want to thank Ron Boys, one of my best friends at that time, who was casually dating Carrie at that time, and who, when I asked him if it was okay with him if I asked her out, said, sure. That was his loss. Our first date was a Minnesota North Stars hockey game, the last hockey game I've ever attended. One night, several months later, I walked her to a rock in a Minneapolis park that marked a point halfway between the equator and the North Pole. I sat her on that rock and asked her to marry me. Looking back, I'm surprised that she wasn't put off by my preoccupation with the 45th parallel and wanting to know the exact location of our engagement, but she said yes. And another several months later, on a Friday night, after I scored an F earlier that day on my final exam in Cultural Anthropology of China and Japan, we were married. This last March, we celebrated 50 years of marriage. It's been a wonderful ride. She's still such a wonderful blessing to me, and she still lights up a room when she enters it, just as she did 50 plus years ago, as long as she's had her morning coffee. I'm thankful for her and every one of those years. For my 3 daughters, Jenny, my favorite, Kristen, my favorite, and Sandra, my favorite. They're in their 30s and 40s now, and every year they are more and more of a blessing to me. I crave and appreciate their friendship, affection, advice, and support more and more. They are very generous with each of these with me. They are as fine a trio of daughters a father could ever hope for. They are intelligent, hardworking, and caring women. They all love dogs. They love each other. And I'm reminded of how fortunate I am when they sing the Vultures song, "We Are Friends," from the Disney Jungle Book movie. They are devoted and loving wives and mothers. All that's not to say that they haven't experienced their own challenges in life, because they have, but they face them with faith. And even though they might have felt weak and even felt like a failure at those times, I believe they'll see their own resilience and God's provisions when they look back at them one day. I love them deeply and am thankful for them. For my 3 sons-in-law, Adam, Scott, and John. All of them asked for my daughter's hands in marriage, but in different ways. One of them, while he and I were watching a Star Wars movie, one at a Pizza Hut, and one after failing to find the fortitude to ask me, after he had invited me out to lunch, and I just kind of let him dangle, even though I suspected what his intentions were. He wound up scheduling another time to get together, a meeting in my office a day later, and invited Carrie along to give him moral support to ask the question. I gladly said yes to all 3 of these men. They are all unique in their gifting and careers, but they're all very similar in important ways. They work hard, they love their families, they share a common faith. They're a delight to have in our family. For my 7 grandchildren, Avery, a high school sophomore, Aaliyah and Tayton, 6th graders, Allie, a 2nd grader, and the 5-year-old twins, Everest and Charlotte, who are attending a pre-kindergarten class. I am so thankful that they light up when they come through the door of our house, expecting a fun time to be found there and a buffet of not so healthy snacks prepared by grandmother. They played key roles in our 50th wedding anniversary celebration in March. Instead of a dinner in a restaurant, my daughters decorated one of their living rooms, set a table for us, and provided a special dinner. We never saw our daughters from the time that we arrived until after the dinner. Instead, our grandchildren served as waiters, waitresses, and entertainers. Some dressed as wait staff with black and white outfits and linen towels draped over their arms, and presented us with menus, took our orders, filled our water glasses and coffee cups, and cleared the table. Our dinner was accompanied by musical selections, including a flute solo, readings about love and marriage, a description by all 7 of them about what they loved best about Grandma and Grandpa. And surprise, Avery modeling her grandmother's 50-year-old wedding dress. It was a magical, magical night for us. I'm thankful for my grandchildren, for 2 wonderful vacations with daughters and their families, one to Texas and one to California, for being able to unlock a tricky bedroom door in San Antonio while parents left us with Charlotte and Everest, and he locked himself inside the bedroom. It wasn't a lock that you could open with a credit card or pop open with a nail. It took a couple of hours, but we didn't need to call 911. I'm thankful for those vacations and the memories, especially the visit to the oldest bakery in Texas and also to Huntington Beach. For my parents who've been gone for 7 years now, and who laid a foundation of faith, values, and habits which have shaped my life. For teaching me to shovel the snows of Minnesota, which I never minded, for making me systematically pick the crabgrass and weeds out of our yard, which I hated, which kind of taught me that life isn't always fun and easy, and for making me take swimming lessons and piano lessons for several years, both of which I hated at the time, but I appreciate now so much. I hope to see them someday and tell them how much I appreciate what they did for me. I'm thankful for them. For my 2 brothers, who I love and respect. Brothers rarely say this to each other most of the time, and for many years I never did either, but now usually when I hang up after a phone call with a brother or say goodbye to them at the airport, I say, I love you. And they do too. I'm thankful for them and their families. For my health, it's been a challenging adventure this year. 60 trips to a Seattle hospital for a 2-hour treatment with 5 hours of commuting each time. To those of you who asked me this spring if I was enjoying retirement, I lied to you. I told all of you yes, when in reality, that's pretty much what I did every weekday for the first 3.5 months of my retirement. I had a record 5 trips to the emergency room this last year for 2 different issues. I'm thankful for the new Good Samaritan Hospital Emergency Department on South Hill, which is closer to me. And I'm also thankful for one veteran nurse who greeted me there on 3 different trips in 2 days and compassionately, determinedly, and tenaciously went far beyond the call of duty, tending to me and would not give up on me. I'm thankful for my first ambulance ride, although it would have been more exciting if they'd used the siren during that ride. And that for the first year in a while, I didn't fall off a ladder or at least injure myself or Carrie while doing it. I'm thankful that I feel good, that most of my body parts are working normally, that my scans and blood tests are pretty normal for someone my age, and that I can walk pretty vigorously for about an hour a day. I'm thankful for my health. For the geese I saw recently while walking on a Sunday morning, something must have been wrong with their gyroscopes because it was November and all 4 groups of them were honking loudly while flying north. And I had to stop my walk to watch them and wonder when they'd figured out that they were flying the wrong way and how God enables them to know where they're going and when to stop when they finally head south. For the wonderfully gracious and generous people of Bethany Baptist Church, who have been our family for 46 years and who honored both Carrie and me on the occasion of my retirement in February. We loved the gifts, cards, and comments that you gave to us. I especially appreciated the Twinkies, the Edwards chocolate cream pie, and Boston cream pie that were served in my honor on that occasion. I took a tray and then another tray and then several trays of the pies home over the next several weeks and added 2 inches to my waist as kind of a retirement memento. I'm so grateful for the people of Bethany, for the staff of Bethany. They are competent, committed, and underpaid. I miss seeing them regularly far more than they will ever realize. For lessons learned, that life is a gift and not a guarantee. How precious a good night's sleep is. That when I open my eyes in the morning, knowing that God has deemed to gift me with the start of another day. How important faith, family, and friends are. That what happens to us is less important than how we respond to it. How important it is to have a thankful heart, because it helps keep us centered on the important, helps us rise above the insignificant and the petty, and keeps us humble, which makes us recipients of God's grace. For friends who have impacted my life in various ways, especially the special friends who prayed for me, sometimes in the middle of the night when I needed it. For the hope that the cancer that grew within my body has been cut out, poisoned out, and burned out, destroyed, and leaving me with the hope that I'll enjoy the friendship of my grandchildren when they become young adults, and with a sharpened sense of what's really important in life, and with the knowledge that God is not only good, but great. For the Lord Jesus, for the miracle of his death in payment for my sins, which are many, and the miracle of his resurrection, which gives me the hope that I'll join him one day, and many other friends and family members who have gone on before me. For all these things and more, I am truly thankful this Thanksgiving season. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I want to wish you a very, very happy and blessed Thanksgiving season.
Well, thanks, Pastor Dave. That is so great to hear some of those different things that you're thankful for and kind of the meaning behind being thankful. You know, in my family, we love Thanksgiving. We love to sit around the table and have that great meal. But one of our traditions that we do is we sit and we share different things that we've been thankful for over the year. And it's just a really special time that we enjoy as a family. So what we want to do is we want to give you an opportunity to do that as a family. So as a family, we'd encourage you to really just share with each other what you've been thankful for over the last year. And if you're single and you're by yourself, go ahead and just journal some stuff that you can look back on and remember this time in the next year. Well, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy this time.